What's going on here?
Identified as non-binary for almost a decade and don't anymore, so I have a lot of conversations with people about gender.
What started out as a TikTok trend fueled by social contagion, peer pressure, and online validation is now collapsing in record timing. People are finding out real-world consequences the hard way. Hormones, reversible surgeries, and mostly young women are realizing that they were sold a lie. And now they are choosing sanity over the ideology that almost destroyed them. Welcome to another psychological deep dive. If you are new here, my name is Ariel. Make sure to click that subscribe button because I am one of the only lesbians on YouTube that calls out the bullshit from both sides of the political spectrum, but currently I lean to the right.
Any they thems here? That fizzled out, huh? Right, last year there would have been a whole bunch. Right, have you noticed this? They're walking that back now. Some of them, they're walking it back. And I'll say this, if you ever went by they, them, you should not be able to go back. No backsies, you plural bitch.
It did indeed fizzle out, and I believe there are 4 main reasons why. Number 1, society is just over it. We're over it. People were like somewhat willing to deal with the bullshit. You know, people wanted to be nice. There was like a whole anti-bullying campaign that happened just a few years before all of this came out. But now it has gone on for too long, and people are calling out the control issues and the demonization of people that don't agree with this gender ideology cult.
No backsies, you plural bitch. After all that, my friend came up to me. She said, "Oh yeah, I'm not really doing that anymore." She's been doing they them for 6 years. She's like, I'm not really doing that anymore. I'm like, "Oh yes you are. Oh yes you are. There was 6 of you. You made everyone change their shit for you. Right? Your life was good and you were rich and you went to Wesley and you needed a problem and you took me with you."
She's dressed as a Native American.
Are you trans?
Do I look trans?
A little bit. You're offended, but you're dressed up like a girl.
Even the tolerant gays of West Hollywood are over this.
I don't understand. I live in LA. I go to gay bars. I'm literally at a gay bar. Why do I intentionally get misgendered almost every single time by ugly men? Ugly men. Like, it's one thing for it to be a mistake, but like intentionally sitting there at a gay bar while you're trying to get laid by the guy next to you, like, the audacity is crazy. You're ugly. You're ugly and you're talking to me?
Jeffree Star was one of the biggest gays to come out publicly against this a few years back and is still calling it out.
LGB is it. Q and T, get off the alphabet, sweetie. You should be in your own category. Lesbian, gay, and bi. Is that not a sexuality?
That's a sexuality, yes.
Okay.
What you think your identity is has nothing to do with what you're sexually attracted to. So why is T and Q on LGB?
Number 2, it is harder. It is more difficult to find jobs and to go into the real world acting like this. The majority of people will not take you seriously. There was even a recent study that proves people with they, them pronouns in their bios or their resumes don't get hired as often. This was a study coming out of the University of Toronto just 2 years ago. Look at this graph. Even the Democratic areas were less likely to hire they, thems. And I wonder why. And listen, this economy is a little bit crazy right now. It is indeed difficult to find consistent work or even freelance work. The job market feels completely broken. AI is taking over. And I know so many people, even really qualified people, that are finding it difficult right now. They feel like they're just sending out hundreds of resumes and not getting any answers back. One of the biggest problems are that people are basically applying blind. Most traditional job boards just throw thousands of random listings at you and hope something sticks. That's why I've been sending a few of my friends over to remotejobsfinder.co because what I found was very interesting, and yes, they are sponsoring today's video. It is not just another job board. It uses AI, so AI is your friend in this case, to match you with remote jobs that actually fit your experience and skills instead of wasting your time with random listings. And with remote work becoming way more common globally, having everything aggregated in one place honestly makes the whole process feel like a lot less overwhelming and daunting. I was actually scrolling through it a little bit earlier to help one of my friends who's looking for a job in Pennsylvania. It helps with resume optimization, faster applications, which is huge because applying for a job can sometimes feel like a job in itself. So if you're exhausted from having to endlessly scroll and click on random listings, go and check out today's sponsor, remotejobsfinder.co. Link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on screen. Make sure you go and support brands who support you and this channel. Number Number 3 reason people are leaving the non-binary transgender cult. They are waking up and realizing that it's not even a real thing, that it is sexist, that it doesn't make sense, that it's ideologically inconsistent. My friend Savannah and I were filming in the Village just 3 days ago. What this woman said, and I feel like this person was almost like in tears by the end of our conversation. Just look at the conversation we had with her. You said that you were non-binary and you're not non-binary anymore? Because I've been saying, I've been talking about this on my channel for a very long time because I'm gay.
Okay.
And I know a lot of lesbians almost forgot that they can be butch lesbians, and they've taken on this new gender identity, and then they wind up transitioning and wind up regretting it. I want to know how you came to terms with, just said you're not non-binary anymore.
I realized that a better way to challenge people's ideas of gender for people who hadn't been really exposed to kind of like the idea of being non-binary, like instead of opting myself out of it, I'm going to go back into this gender and say like, hey, this is a different way to experience it.
Right, which is funny because I've been seeing this for like the past 10 years, that people have been calling themselves non-binary when they're just more masculine women. And my thing is, it's sexist to call yourself non-binary because you're basically saying, not you, but people that believe in that ideology are saying that if you are more masculine, you can't be a woman. And I say that's actually very sexist. That's saying that women are supposed to be a very specific thing. And women, besides being female, can express themselves in any way and still be a woman. I would say take a little while longer and realize that there's many ways you can be a woman. I've learned that people are starting to come out of it. A lot of people detransitioning, a lot of people aren't calling themselves they, thems anymore.
What do you think caused kind of like the uptick in the they, themness?
A desire to be different, a desire to be accepted, because LGBT was at that time, like 6-7 years ago, the most accepted it ever had been. People want to live. Most people in this country right now are libertarians. They're live and let live people. But when you start telling me how to act and how to think and what to think, that becomes a big problem for me, because that's a cult.
Let's see.
Something to think about. Something to think about. Something to think about. I'll give you my YouTube channel, and you can check it out, all right? Even Clavicular's girlfriend opens up about somewhat being indoctrinated into this cult.
So deep into like this like bullshit propaganda that was like this like gay propaganda that was being pushed. Friend in high school like found me like searching up like trans like female to male like trans stuff. So had I been like any more fucked up in the head, I would probably be like a trans man. Feel like I wish I was a man. Mentally, I just feel like I have like a really weak, like, as cringe as this sounds, like I have a really weak like gender identity. Like I don't want to be a woman.
Tons of videos like this are finding their way onto our For You pages.
I'm a leftist who critiques cancel culture, and I recently wrote a zine about how I identified as non-binary for almost a decade and don't anymore. It's out now. Identifying as non-binary was not a neutral part of my life. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, I went down this road and then realized that actually it was the wrong path for me, and then I changed my mind. And it wasn't a big deal. It actually was a really, really huge deal for me. And it coincided with the most traumatized period of my life, the most suicidally depressed, the most socially anxious, the most alienated I ever felt from the world, from my own body, from myself. And I don't blame queer theory or that gender paradigm for that time in my life. But it's also not a coincidence that it coincided.
Number 4 reason, they are realizing that these people are batshit crazy and no longer want to be associated with them, which I guess is easy for them because they weren't actually homosexual, transsexual to begin with. Thanks for leaving us with the mess. There have been many trans shooters.
Wonder if any of the woke AI chatbots have talked to any of these trans school shooters.
They might have.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, the last one, yeah, I don't know.
Bro, it's like 7 of the last X amount of trans, 7 in a row have been trans, except one was non-binary, which is just diet trans.
Again, Jeffree Star is one of the main gay people that is speaking out against this, along with a few other transsexual friends of mine that have been doing it for the past 5 years or so.
When I grew up and I started looking different, right? My mother encouraged me to just be myself. When I started wearing makeup and being more feminine and wanting to do certain things, it wasn't, oh my God, Jeffree needs, what do they call it now? Gender affirming care. I'm done. She let me be myself. She didn't push me to be anything. Just like when you're a tomboy, did your mom try to, get you a surgery to be a You know what I mean?
Savannah and I hung out the other day, and I was talking to her saying that being gay used to be fun. We were in the village, we were hanging out, and I said, you know what? I miss the old way of being gay. It used to be fun. We used to hang out. There was no racism, no classism, no bullshit. Like, everyone just got along. I mean, there was drama, but like, not like this. Now we have to deal with idiots like this who are claiming that they're queer, even though they're in heterosexual relationships. Oh my God. You can't make this up.
Bisexual, non-binary, they, she. Dating a non-binary, bisexual, he, they. So, if you think about it, we are basically straight. I actually posted that joke. My brother called me today to make fun of me for this video. He's like, Ben Shapiro should pick this up and put it on TikTok.
I found this video, and I think it explains very well in detail why the trans movement quickly gained power and why they're also quickly losing traction. And I'm gonna link it below for you guys. I think you should check it out. It's on X. But here's just like a quick little 40 seconds of it, just to kind of tell you what's going on.
This transformation, especially among young people, it didn't happen by accident. It was a perfect storm of forces that came together. It started with the success of the gay rights movement. After winning the battle for marriage and legal equality, many of these same activists and organizations shifted their focus to transgender rights. And with them, they brought proven tactics and an infrastructure for social change. It also coincided with the anti-bullying movement in America. When I was in school in the 70s and 80s, it was all about don't do drugs. In my children's years, it was all about fighting bullies and being tolerant to all. First up was the battle over words, because winning the language war was crucial. All activists understand that. They know that by controlling the conversation, they can control the debate itself.
Yeah, I mean, we know this to be true. I've made videos about it in the past. Look at all the ways the activists have changed language over the last 10 years. The New York Times and other left-wing media outlets have changed the word illegal immigrant to undocumented migrants. They've changed woman to birthing people. They've changed riots to mostly peaceful protests. They want to control language so they can control the conversation, so they can control your thinking, so they can control you. And lastly, bonus reason number 5 why people are leaving the left-wing gender ideology cults if they aren't actually experiencing gender dysphoria, which most of them aren't, because more and more data is suggesting that this doesn't actually help that many people. Most of these treatments do nothing to address the root cause of these mental illnesses. Again, if they're not gender dysphoria. Most of these people are not trans, they're not non-binary, that's not even a thing. They are just people, mostly young white women, that have trauma that's unresolved, that is not going away by this treatment. Let me know what you guys think in the comments though. Do you think the they them movement is over? Do you think it's still gaining traction? Do you think people are over it? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to go and check out today's sponsor, remotejobsfinder.co. Again, make sure to go and support companies that support you and this channel. As always, I will see you guys back here in a few days. I love you, love yourselves, keep calling out the bullshit. Bye.